are going to cut the skirt on the fabric. Before we get started, we need to know a little about your fabric. The fabric was made using a process called weaving, and there are two edges formed. We call them the selvage edges. From one selvage edge to the other, that's the width of your fabric. The length of the garment will go along the selvage edge. So when we on the board said you fold the fabric 37, this is what we mean. You would measure with your tape measure, taking off the selvage across 37 and fold the fabric there. So what you're actually getting here now is the two sides of the back of the skirt when it is cut. I mentioned that we need the zip allowance at the center back. So here's going to be the center back where the zip will go. Before you start using your fabric, make sure you use your meter stick and straighten the fabric. So you draw the line across the top. This is your tailor's chalk that we use for drawing the lines. After that is done, you're going to come in from the 37, 4 centimeters, and that is going to be your allowance to put in your zipper. That will go to the length of your skirt. So that's your center back seam. Remember I told you that the seam is where two pieces of the fabric are stitched together. Now from the zip fitting line here, you're going to measure your waist, which is 24/40, quarter of the waist plus the dart plus the side seam, and your mark there. From the waist, you will come down 20 centimeters or 18 centimeters to identify where the hip is positioned. You draw the line across, and this is going to be your hip line. This is important because this is what we're going to be used as our guide to shape the side of the skirt. Okay, so I'm going to get the position on the hip, and I'm taking it from the fitting line. That's where the zipper is, the 4 centimeters. So it's 30, and the seam allowance, you're going to be at 32. You can use freehand, or you can use your French curve. I probably do it the freehand. So once you get the waist measurement and the hip measurement, you join the points together. If you have a French curve, you can use. It's important that you know to use it. You put your points and get your curve there. After that is done, we're going to do the length of the skirt. And I'm going to use for the length 62. And then I'll have to add to that 6, so I'm going to go to 68. So you measure down to make sure the line is straight. You draw across. After this is done, you're going to go down to the side. Now remember I told you that after you leave the hip, ladies tend to get a little fatter on the thigh, and that's why we have that extra one. So to the thigh, we're going to be using that extra one, and then we go straight. And this is your basic straight skirt. Use your ruler and go straight to the hemline. All right, then we will cut. Now when we are cutting, we cut and allow this chalk to stay on the main part of the garment. Instead, in case there's any error, you will be able to correct it. Okay, then this is your waist. Now after that is done, we open the center back because we're going to be putting the zip in, so we open it. Okay, now it's important that we mark the points. So we snip. That's where your fitting line is for the stitching for your zip allowance. The front of the skirt will not have the zip allowance on it. So this becomes a pattern now for the front. So we fold off the zip allowance, which is a 4 centimeters, and pin that in place. Okay, then we're going to do the front. Up we go. You place the back onto the fabric. It's the easiest way to do it. And mark. Then you bring it to that fold. So actually you're taking off the zip allowance. There's no zip allowance on the front, so we're taking it off. Good. So you see that's quite easy. Once you have done the back, the front is easy to do. So we line that together nicely. Place the center back to the center front here. Make sure the back is lined on flat on the fabric. And I normally suggest that you pin to hold in place before you cut. So pin to make sure when you're cutting, you're not having any movements. We're going to cut around using the back of the skirt as a pattern for the front. Again, we mark the center point on the front, so we know exactly where the center is. Now we're going to mark in the dart as well. So I'm using 10 centimeters. We want to make sure that when both darts are stitched, back and front, they are properly lined up, so it's best to mark them at this point. The same thing applies. We clip, so we have the position of the dart marked. And then the back dart is going to be 13. So I go down 13 from the waist. Put the pin in through so I can see it on the other side. And I mark my dart. Alright, I do the same thing for the front, which is 9. Remember the back dart length is 13. And the front dart is 9. And the reason is because the dart gives you the fullness where you need it. At the back it's at your bottom, and at the front it's at your tummy. Alright. So I have my darts marked. Now remember, I also told you that the width of the dart is 12 millimeters, so we fold for the 12 and mark. Again, I clip. So I'll have them like that, the 3, 1, 2, 3 points. We are going to fold on the center line. So you pull apart like this. Oops. I'm just holding the center back together so you can see what I'm doing. Okay. There. Okay. So there you have the back of the skirt, and both darts are banked here. So it makes your sewing easier. Okay, so we're going to fold on the center line, this line, to where the pin is. So that's a straight fold. And then I'll pin across here. So instead of drawing 3 lines on the fabric, we will draw just 1 line. So I'll use my meter stick and draw the line here. And that's going to be a stitching line for the dart. Chalk. Okay. So this is the line that your dart will stitch on. Right? Good. So we do the skirt, we're marking the darts, and then you prepare the band. So that's the last part of your cutting. Now the band, I normally use 16 centimeters wide, so I cut it on a fold at 8. Centimeters. When you open, you'll get the 16. Okay. And it's the full waist measurement. We're using 80. So it's a full waist measurement plus 4. So we're going to go to 84. Okay. All right, so this is the band for the skirt. So that's what the band looks like, the band for the skirt. Thanks for watching. Hope you have enjoyed my presentation.